It is 2021. In the past year, humanity has made huge advancements in technology. SpaceX has launched the first crewed commercial spaceflight. Satellites orbiting the planet are being used to blanket the Earth in internet service. On the International Space Station, astronauts have begun experimenting with a fifth state of matter. Back on the planet, major breakthroughs have occurred in battery technology. Personal computer chips are being built from 5nm technology, but perhaps most importantly, the most technologically advanced clarinet barrel has been created. This is my 2021 review of the Behn Evo adjustable barrel. Alrighty, but jokes aside, let's talk specs. There's a lot to talk about here, but I really do believe Brad has taken the design of the traditional clarinet barrel and even that of the standard adjustable barrel to a new level. But first, a little history. Adjustable barrels have been around for a while now. Here's a picture of a metal Selmer clarinet from around 1930 with a telescoping adjustable barrel. Additionally, here's an expired patent from 1993 concerning a design for an adjustable clarinet barrel mechanism. Other barrels have popped up since then, however, due to various reasons, whether it be poor tuning, sound, or design, they mostly never caught on. That changed in 2010 when Paulus and Schuler released their Zoom barrel. It was widely lauded as the best adjustable barrel available and has been so popular that at times they've had trouble meeting demand. Since the P&S barrel took off, other companies have started producing adjustable barrels. You have undoubtedly seen them pop up on the market. You will notice that the form factor on most of these barrels is very similar to the Zoom, much to Paulus and Schuler's chagrin. However, it's 2021 and the next generation has arrived. Brad leaves the previous design behind entirely, moving on to something brand new. Now, let's talk about the design. Just by looking at it, you can tell a lot of thought was put into the creation and design of this barrel. Brad has stated that he spent 4 years designing and invested a sizable amount of money to be able to produce these. As we delve into the design, I want to reinforce that this is something new. Those of you who have experience with other adjustable barrels should put your preconceived notions aside for just a moment. Some aspects and technology that went into the creation of this barrel are in the process of being patented, and we will get into that now. First off, the shape is ergonomic. It is designed to fit nicely in the hand when switching the barrel from clarinet to clarinet. On the patent side of things, the ring that changes the barrel's length is large and deeply grooved with edges prominent enough for an improved tactile feel when turning the mechanism. If your hands get sweaty in performances, you don't have to worry about slipping when using the turning mechanism. Additionally, the ring protrudes slightly, so it can be easily found when needing to make a blind adjustment. But here is where we get into the really cool stuff. One of the biggest parts of the patent is that the adjustment mechanism itself provides haptic feedback. Every quarter turn, there is a stop so that you can easily feel how far you've turned the barrel without having to look down. As you can hear here, there is a slight pop when going over the haptic notes. This is an early production model, and Brad sent me these popping versions specifically to better illustrate the haptic feedback. In the full production run, Brad has informed me that the mechanism will produce a soft sound, meaning that it will be audible up close but not loud on the stage. While initially I was a little uncomfortable with the idea of the barrel making noise, I have to say that there's something oddly satisfying about turning the barrel and getting both the physical and slight audible feedback. I think people who habitually click their pens know exactly what I am talking about. A quick note. Between the two barrels, the hard rubber currently has a little more wiggle room between the haptic points. If you really want some additional fine-tuning potential, you might find it with the hard rubber version. This is just an inherent difference in the material. However, Brad let me know that this may change as the manufacturing process can be changed to make the two types of rings function identically. If that turns out to be the case, I will update this video then. Additionally, the length that the barrel can extend and retract is huge. It can shift all the way from 63mm to 68mm. This is a huge range and should make it so that you never need a new or different barrel. This really is a big deal. It future-proofs you. I can't think of a situation in which this barrel doesn't have a node that lets you match the ensemble or instruments around you. Additionally, for Selmer users, there is a version of the barrel that extends from 61mm to 66mm. That barrel has the option of having a standard Selmer signature style bore or Behn's own patented bore. Behn's bore gives you added concentration, tonal center, and flexibility. Speaking of the bore, Brad has also texturized it. If you reach in and touch it, you will find that it isn't perfectly smooth. While there isn't any scientific data backing this up, he finds that it has a positive effect on the way the air moves through the instrument, likening it to how the texture of a golf ball allows it to go farther. See, I told you, he really has thought about every aspect of this barrel. Moving on, the material is entirely Behn's own formulation of hard rubber. Anyone who knows Behn's other work knows that he takes his hard rubber seriously. He has essentially staked his entire company on the philosophy that better quality hard rubber produces a better sound. Being so invested in the material and finding deficiencies in the production of a wooden adjustable barrel, he opted to change course from his previous adjustable barrel and made this one out of hard rubber. The material does have some inherent advantages. It won't warp, blow out, or go oval, something I myself experienced on a P&S barrel several years ago. The bottom wooden socket eventually needed to be re-reamed due to warping. Additionally, the mechanism won't bind, something I also experienced on that same barrel. It wasn't uncommon for the turning mechanism to get stuck or not turn as smoothly due to fluctuations in the wood. These aren't issues with a hard rubber barrel. The choice of material also allows for Behn to provide an adjustable barrel that is also ultra light. Anyone who has ever played a P&S style barrel knows that they can be relatively heavy. For some people, that's a non-issue. However, when the gun show is in town at my house, you will find I'm only selling pea shooters. If you are like me and many other clarinetists, that added weight can cause too much added strain on an already weak thumb area. Some of you may have noticed that I almost always play with my instrument resting on my legs in my videos. Whenever I play standing, it is with a neck strap. Both of these decisions are out of self-preservation. Additional weight on an instrument can take its toll on your thumb joint if given enough time, and so another quality option that reduces the weight of the instrument is appreciated. Part of the reason Brad can make these barrels so light is due to another part of the design he's patenting. The barrels utilize a special fitment feature that provides rigidity and strength. Perhaps most importantly, it allows the ability to make a thin-walled, lightweight barrel. This is also part of the reason Brad opts to use hard rubber, as you can't make the walls so thin using wood without the risk of warping and cracking. That being said, Behn has also made a heavier version where the mechanism is made out of stainless steel. This adds a significant amount of weight, however, due to the nature of the base hard rubber material and design, it's still only slightly heavier than a standard clarinet barrel. But enough talking, let's hear them. In the following clips, I will be playing two short excerpts from the Mozart Kegelstatt Trio on my B-flat clarinet, as well as the opening solo from the second movement of Shostakovich's Symphony No. 9 on my A clarinet. With all excerpts, I will begin by first playing on the stock barrels that came with my instruments, before repeating the excerpt on the Behn hard rubber and then stainless steel barrels. All excerpts were otherwise performed on the exact same equipment within an hour of each other. I tried really hard to make the excerpts sound as close as possible so you could focus on the individual sound of the barrels. If there are slight differences in phrasing or intonation, please forgive me. For best results, listen with headphones or dedicated speakers. And there we have it. First, let me start off by sharing Brad's descriptions of his own barrels. He describes the sound of the barrel with the hard rubber turning mechanism as being warmer, while saying that the stainless steel version is a little more resonant and powerful, with more zip to the sound. After listening back to the excerpts, I agree with his assessments. While all three barrels are similar in sound, that is to say, it always sounds like I am playing the clarinet, and I always sound like myself, the hard rubber barrel sounds a little lighter, but also a little warmer than the other two. I think this is the most apparent on my A clarinet in the Shostakovich excerpt. The stainless steel does also have more power than the other two. I hear a more consistent and present ring to the sound throughout the excerpts with that barrel. Behind the instrument, while recording, I could definitely feel the increased ring and projection with that barrel. Brad picked the right word when he said it was powerful. I do think it's important to note that while there wasn't some massive shift in sound quality from barrel to barrel, and that some people may even prefer the sound they get on other aftermarket barrels, I have played on plenty of aftermarket barrels where not only did the sound suffer, but the intonation did as well. The Behn barrels certainly do not fall into this category, and that is commendable in and of itself. Alright, so when these barrels go into full production, they will be $450 for the hard rubber ring version and $600 for the stainless steel version. I know some of you may be balking a little bit at the price, but I think just the extension range alone makes the barrel worth the price. To be able to go from 63 millimeters to 68 millimeters is absolutely huge. Most professionals I know have a huge range of barrels. They've got their 65 millimeter for their B flat and 66 millimeters, sometimes even a 67 millimeter if they're expecting to play in a really hot room or maybe outside. And then for their A, they've got their 64 millimeter and 65 millimeter, 66 millimeter. You know, just for all the different scenarios. Like, let's say you're doing a tour in Europe and you have to play at 442. And you know your mouthpiece plays a little low, so you're going to need that 64 millimeter, sometimes even shorter. Or maybe you're from Europe and you have to go to America and you find that you're just playing super sharp all the time, you're pulled out as far as you can go, you need a longer barrel, well there's your 67 millimeter. With these barrels, you got it all in one, right? You don't need any extra barrels for tuning. You know, maybe you want a different barrel that produces a slightly different sound, but tuning, these barrels have got you covered. Then on top of the intonation security you're buying, you're also getting a great sounding barrel. I mean, whether it's the warmth of the hard rubber version or the incredible resonant power of the stainless steel version, I feel like one of these two would fit into most people's sound concepts in a really pleasing and beneficial way. I recommend trying both just to see what barrel will better fit your instrument and your own sound concept, but I really feel that you probably can't go wrong either way. All in all, Brad has released a stellar product that is definitely worth checking out. He's truly brought something new to the table here that is worth checking out. It's always good as a consumer to have more options, and he's certainly given us an option worth considering. Do me a favor and down in the comments below, let me know which barrel you thought sounded the best on my instruments. I'm still trying to decide what I'm personally going to keep, and your feedback would be appreciated. If you've tried these barrels, let me know too. I'm curious to hear what others have thought about them so far. As always, thanks for watching the video. If you haven't already, please like it and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out. If you haven't already, also go check me out on Instagram for sneak peeks at what I'm working on next and other short little videos. Until next time, happy practicing.